Hello everyone and good evening. Today I wanted to do a different kind of video. I've really been getting into War Thunder lately, and I've always loved World War II history. So I thought about doing, since I saw it and kind of knew about this, the first tank to see combat on the American side in World War II. And that would be the M3 Stuart and the M2A4. So, we'll get right into it, and I'll give a little bit of history during the game. They're both pretty cool. I like them quite a lot, and although they quickly became obsolete at the beginning of World War II, they actually were quite fair matched and useful against early Japanese tanks. So, let's begin. Alrighty, so we're going to start here with the M3 Stuart, and the history of it's quite interesting, where as the M2A4 was loaned out to Great Britain during the North Africa campaign, it was becoming quite aware to American engineers that the M2 was kind of obsolete compared to other tanks at the time. It had thinner armor compared to the M3. If I remember correctly, I think they had the same armament of a 30mm cannon or 36mm cannon. But basically, after America improved on the M2, they produced the M3. And beginning mass production of the M3, they loaned it out to Great Britain again in the African campaign, where it actually was quite useful. And a lot of British tank crews quite liked the M3. They called it the Honey because it was a smooth ride. It all in all was like a very nice upgrade compared to the M2, and was pretty much on par with German and Italian tanks and armored vehicles at the time. But the first time it saw battle alongside its home country, America, was actually obviously after Pearl Harbor. You know, that was what brought us into the war. But a lot of people don't know that immediately after Pearl Harbor, December 7th, December 8th began the Philippine campaign, where Japan assaulted the Philippines. Where is he? There he is. He's right there. We back up. And I believe it was December 20th or 23rd where American tanks first encountered Japanese tanks, and they ended up losing. I don't recall if they were outnumbered, but it was 5 tanks versus, and it just says the 4th Regiment. So if it was the entire 4th Tank Regiment, obviously they got outnumbered, because like a regiment's like 100 tanks or so. It's actually quite a few. Kept hitting his track. Well, yeah, that's it for the M3. I guess we'll move on to the M2. Oh, he was way back there. I thought he was directly behind that sign. The M2. The M2A4, like, we kind of got into its story earlier with the M3. It was the predecessor to the M3. It actually did see a decent bit of service until 1943 in the American military, specifically the Pacific Theater, where it was in the Battle of Guadalcanal, where it assaulted Japanese positions. Oof. What is he doing? Oh, I hit his ammo. Oh my god. Man, if that happened in Japan, they'd freak out. Oh, alright, let's move on. And I quite like the M2A4 in War Thunder. I quite like it a lot more above the M3 Stuart. You know, War Thunder has a bit of its inaccuracies, and people like to rectify that. I don't know if that's something that's a difference here, or if both of these act as natural in the game as they would as they did in practice and battle, but it's, you know, just my preference. I quite like the M2 more than the 3. We need to assault B. But yeah, these tanks were really a key piece in the defense. Well, I say defense of the Philippines. We ended up losing the Philippines, sadly. That guy was just sitting there. What was he doing? But it really was. They saw a lot of battle in the retreat of the Philippines, where the 194th and 192nd Tank Battalions, which were equipped with M3s, not M2s, ended up covering the retreat of the U.S. Army and Air Force personnel in the Philippines down the Bataan Peninsula? I can't remember which one it was at the time, but they ended up saving a lot of people's lives because they were keeping the main grunts of the Imperial Japanese Army away from a lot of the contracted civilians, because that's sadly what was going on in the Philippines, was that there were a lot of civilians contracted for the U.S. Army working in the Philippines. And I think I might be dead here. I'm gone. Yep. Well, we'll head on to the next game, I guess. Back on with the M3. I keep talking about it, even though I like the M2 more. It actually did quite good in the jungle, where it saw most of its action under the United States. Where's he shooting at? Again, he's another guy covered in a forest. Quit shooting. It did quite well in the jungle. It was known to get through the marshes of the Philippines and through the muddy jungles of spaces like Guadalcanal. Oh my god, he almost got me. I see you. I love the fact that America was like, how do we spot where our tank round will go? Just put a 50 cal right next to the barrel and shoot the 50 cal until you hit what you want to blow up. It's just such an American thing where it's like, how do we sight in our gun with another gun? Like the fat electrician says, we don't run out of bullets, we run out of bad guys. Where is he? Is he right there?
Oh, hello there!
Man, he hit my track, didn't he? Oh my god, yeah.
Help me! Oh my god!
I really quite wish we had like America's first tank in War Thunder. That'd be very cool if they just threw it in as a reserve. Because I think it's in the game for France. America built their first tank almost a one-to-one of one of France's World War I tank. And then our second tank was, again, just a little tweaked difference of a British tank. And I think it was our third tank that was finally an original to America, which might have been the M2, or it might have been the T-19, which I wish we also had the T-19, which was America's first original America tank. Or was it the T-26? That's the problem with tank names. It's like, the names get very unoriginal, but it also makes sense. It's like, what do we want to name this 300th new tank? That guy's alive. I hear ya. Oh, he got me. I'm down, buddy. Can I live? Aiden! Aiden, buddy, please, come here. Aiden? Aiden, you're fucking G, mate! Aiden, if I ever meet you in real life, I'm gonna let you cut in front of me in line, dude. You're fucking... Oh, I thought that was Aiden talking to me for some reason. Thank you very much, Aiden, dude. You're awesome. I'm gonna die. Hey, buddy. Hi, bud. Oh! Please, we gotta win. Come on, one more kill. Don't let him get 3. Get 1 kill. Isn't that it? Should be it. Let's go! Well, everyone, that was America's first tanks of World War II. The M3 Stuart and the M2A4. I thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all on the next one.